Good morning. My name is Andrew and this is my first attempt at tutorial video. So today we're going to look at Unity. We're going to install Unity and we're going to set up Visual Studio Code and make sure the integration with Unity is working. So let's get straight to it. So the first thing we need to do is go to unity.com, and once we've got there, we want to click on Get Started. It will show you a list of plans and pricing. All we're interested in at the moment is the individual plan and the personal edition. So under personal, free, you can click Get Started. Now there's another choice. There's one for first-time users and there's one for returning users. I've had a few problems with the first-time users, so I don't actually recommend this for first-time users at the moment. The first problem I had was when Unity Hub downloaded, it didn't successfully complete the install of the editor and sort of left me in limbo for ages. So that's one reason why I wouldn't recommend it. The other reason, when I installed from the first-time users, I could only open Unity Hub as an administrator, so I had to run as admin to get Unity Hub to work. So I'm not going to show you how to go through that. Feel more than welcome to do that if you are a first-time user and you want that guided sort of process. But today we're going to look at the experience for returning users. I should also mention that the first-time users doesn't set you up with an editor or an IDE, an integrated development environment. So it just allows you to edit the code with maybe a text editor like Notepad, for example, which is not very user-friendly, especially for a beginner. You want your IntelliSense, you want your code completion, you want your snippets. You want your integration so you can do debugging. There's so many things that just will make your life easier. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're a programmer who's looking at Unity for the first time, whatever your experience level, I'm sure you want that integrated environment. So returning users, go here, and this will getting us started with Unity Personal. First of all, we need to set the terms of service. So do take a bit of time to read through that. Click here to confirm that you're eligible for Unity Personal. Basically, if your company is not earning loads of money or you're not working for a company, then you're eligible for Unity Personal. So let's download the Unity Hub. So while we're waiting for that to download, I just ought to mention something. Tell you what Unity Hub is. So Unity Hub is, what should we call it? It's basically a program on your computer that stores all of your projects and all of your editors that you download. So before, you could just download maybe one editor onto your system. You could download as many editors you like onto your system, and you go into that editor directly. With Unity Hub kind of centralizes that. So if you've got several projects all using different versions of the Unity editor, all of those can live in Unity Hub harmoniously together, very nicely. And also all of your projects will be in Unity Hub. So it's just an improvement on the experience. So we've got it, Unity Hub setup. So we're going to save that into our downloads folder. Only take a few seconds to get that, so that's good. Let's open it up and see what we see. So first we need to give permission. But you need to agree to the Unity terms of service. Take a while just to browse through that and agree. And it says destination folder C, program files, Unity Hub. If you have the setup with an SSD and a hard disk, where all of your apps go on the SSD, if you're running out of space, I'd suggest putting Unity Hub somewhere else. I'm going to put it onto my D drive. I've already got a Unity folder, and I don't seem to have a Unity hub. I think that's been removed when I've removed Unity. So let's make a new folder and call that Unity hub. Like I say, you can put this wherever is most convenient for you. If you've got a massive C drive, you can put it on your C drive. If you've got a separate drive for data storage, you can put it on your data storage drive. It's really up to you, but that's where mine's going. Unity hub. Install. Okay, that will take a while to install. We're going to install Unity Hub. Then we're going to, oh, it's done. So we're going to run Unity Hub. Let's see what we see. We need to allow access because it's being blocked by the firewall. And this is what you get. Just if you're interested in the difference between the returning users and the first time users download, basically the first time users will start you with the Lego micro game or the micro game of your choice, and it will also automatically install the latest version for you. So that's worth knowing. Projects, all my projects are here. There's the learning which is shown with projects and tutorials. Really, once we've got Unity downloaded and we've got your environment all set up and working, I really do suggest that you go and take a look at these tutorials on unity.com. That'll keep you busy for a couple of months, and then perhaps you can come back and see if I've posted any more tutorial videos after this one. Okay, so we've looked at the projects and learn. So we'll look at community, and there's lots of different places where you can go ask questions. You can go to the forums, get live help. There's groups so you can connect to community, all these kind of things. Very, very useful, especially if you're new to game development or new to Unity. And then last one is install. So at the moment we have no Unity version installed. So we're going to add a new Unity version. And this is basically the Unity editor. So this is the program that you're going to be using to build your games. Like I say, the hub just holds your Unity editors and your projects. We're going to do the recommended release, which is 2019.4.16F1 LTS. LTS means long-term support. So this is a stable release. There's bugs in it, but they're known issues, and that you can find those all on the patch release notes and find out about those. If you're feeling very brave, you could go for a pre-release, the latest version, and an alpha. But there's going to be unexpected bugs. Things aren't going to work quite the way you expect them to sometimes. So all the kind of things you expect with an alpha version. I would suggest for this tutorial you do the recommended release, and if you feel brave after that, you can do the 2021 release and have a little play with the latest features and functions. So next. Now you could skip this tutorial completely and download Microsoft Visual Studio Community Edition, and that will set you up with an IDE. But I prefer to use Visual Studio Code. I think it's gaining a lot more traction now. Certainly at work, all the developers at work are using Visual Studio Code. So that's why I've chosen that particular editor. Now, they say that Visual Studio Code is just a text editor. It's not an integrated development environment. But once you set it up so it works with Unity, and you set up the different add-ons that we're going to have, it works just as well as the Microsoft Visual Studio Community version, if not even better. So we're going to leave that unticked for now. Android build support. If you're going to develop for Android, then you can download the Android build support. I've also got the SDK and NDK tools and the OpenJDK tools as well. That is quite a lot of gigabytes there. If you're short on space, then don't click this if you're not going to need it. I've also got the WebGL build support, so you can build for websites. So basically targeting Windows PC, Android and WebGL. If you want to support Apple iOS, for example, you can tick that box, or there's Mac build support with Mono as well. There's lots of choices. Okay, so we've chosen our modules. Click Next. Got to read through the end user license agreement, and once we've read through that, we can tick the box Done. Allow it to make a change, and we're away. You'll see the progress along the top here, and when it gets to the end, obviously it's downloaded and installed. This is going to take a while, so I'll pause the video here and get back to you when that's ready. Hello, so we've managed to download and install that. So we now have Unity Hub installed, and we also have the Unity Editor 2019 long-term support version installed as well. Now, if you want to go and add some more versions, you can. I mentioned the pre-release 2021. There was also 2 releases in 2020 that you might want to check out. Have a look at the patch releases and see what extra features they've got. Maybe some of the bug fixes if you're having trouble with bugs in earlier versions. For this tutorial, we're going to use the long-term support release 2019. And I recommend, if you're going to start a new project, you're just learning, or if you're doing a serious professional project, to use the long-term support version. Okay, so get rid of that. Have a look in our projects. You have no project here. Okay, so we're going to create a new project. We can just click on New. If we hit the drop down, we're going to see a list of all the installed editors we have. We only have one, so let's click that. We'll leave it as a 3D template, and we'll call it Hello World. And it's going to save in D Unity projects. And we can create that. Okay, while that's creating, I'm going to pause the video and then I'll be back with you. So that's created our new project. So this is the Unity editor. Here's the hierarchy, which shows our sample scene and all the objects that are in that scene. So far we've just got a camera and a directional light. You can see the camera there and the directional light there. This is the scene view. The inspector will give us the information about what object we have selected. So if we select the main camera, for example, we've got the transform, and we've got all of the settings available for a camera, and we've got an audio listener on there as well. And down in the project view, we've got a list of our assets, and we can see that here as well. So in scenes, we've got a sample scene, which is what we're looking at. To create good habits, we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call that scripts. And all our new scripts are going to go in that scripts folder. It's a good practice to do this. Then we're going to create a C# script. That was on our right click. And we're going to call this Hello World. Great. So we've got our first project set up. We've got the Unity editor set up. Now we're going to try and do some scripting. So let's see what happens when we click. It opens in notepads. So I might have mentioned that this is the stage we get to where, if we'd have gone to the first time user route and they've installed the Unity editor for us, but they haven't installed an IDE, an integrated development environment like Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. And this is just a text editor. If you edit this text, if you get it right, it will work, but there's no syntax highlighting, there is no IntelliSense autocomplete, that kind of thing. It's not going to check your code for you and give you red squiggly lines if you've typed something wrong. So there's lots of things that it won't give you, so that's not the experience we want. What we want is Visual Studio Code, so let's go and download that now. I'm going to have to search for that, so Visual Studio Code, code.visualstudio.com. I'll put the link to this down in the description as well. We're going to download for Windows. You can also download for Mac or for Linux if you're using it. It's called VS Code User Setup. I've already got it, so I'm just going to cancel that, and I'm going to go into my downloads folder and find that. I think it's quite an old one. There we go, Visual Studio Code User Setup. Right, if we click on that, read the agreement, all looks good to me. I'm going to leave this on the C drive for now because I've been having some issues with it on the D drive. Going to register the code editor, open with code for files and directories in the context menu on Windows Explorer. I'm not going to create a desktop icon, you can if you want to. And install. Next, install. There it goes along its merry way. Not going to take too long, this one, so I'll keep recording. There we go. We're not going to launch, we're just going to finish there. Great. So we're going to go back to our project Hello World. We're going to see what happens when we double click on Hello World. Still the notepad. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Edit, Preferences, External Tools, and we're going to go down and we're going to see Visual Studio Code. Now, if you've downloaded it somewhere other than the C drive, it's not going to show up there. It's only going to show up if you save it in the suggested path. So then you'll have to browse to find the solution. If you have downloaded it and installed it into the default location, you will need to quit Unity and restart Unity before you see this option for Visual Studio Code. So that's what I've done when the video is paused. So let's select Visual Studio Code. And there, those have changed now. Great. Just while we're having a look, if we go to the window, we go to our package manager. There are no packages. Oh dear, something's gone wrong there. There we go. You will see Visual Studio Code Editor here, and this has all the versions you would want. Basically, what I'm trying to show you is the Visual Studio Code Editor package, which gives you everything you need in terms of debugging and IntelliSense, that kind of thing. Some people have said that the IntelliSense, the auto-completion, doesn't work on 1.23 for them, so they've actually downgraded it to 1.21. Hopefully that won't be a problem for us and we can leave it at the latest version. Great. So now let's double click on Hello World. Great, so it's opened into Visual Studio Code. Let's start typing. Vector, no, so we haven't got our auto-completion working yet. Nothing's popping up. So let's have a look at the extensions. So the suggested extensions are, first one is C#. So let's search for C#. And it's the top one, so I can install that. And now it's installing the dependencies as well. It's downloading the .NET Core debugger. While that's working, I'm just going to search for Unity, and I'm going to install the debugger for Unity, and I'm going to install Unity code snippets. You can also install the Unity tools if you like. Well, what the hey, I'm going to do that. I'm going to install the Unity tools, and I'm going to install these Unity snippets by Ycleptic Studios as well. Let's try those. I haven't tried those before, but if we look at our document, those are the four that it suggests. I've used the debugger for Unity and the Unity code snippets before, but the tools and the extra snippets I haven't. So let's see what fun that brings. Finished. Okay, so let's go back to our files, our hello world CS. Let's see what happens now. Vector 2. No, it's still not working. So let's quit out of that. Let's have a look at what we have to do. So the prerequisites for using .NET Core in Visual Studio Code. We need to get the .NET Core SDK. That's this one, and we need to download that. Download will start automatically after 30 seconds. It says. I've already got this downloaded, so we go to our downloads folder. Go back to the top. This one's going to be near the top. There it is, the .NET SDK. SDK basically means software development kit. That's what you need as a developer. A software development kit's got all of the nice things that you would want in there for developing software in the .NET language. Give it some time. Okay. Watching the scroll bars. Exciting. Doesn't take long, trust me. It will be over soon. If you can stand the wait, maybe I should have paused the video. Right, so we can close. What else do we need? That's for Windows only, and for Mac we need to restart at this point. C# extension we've already got, so that's great. We've done that step. We've had a look at the Visual Studio Code Editor package that we looked at, and that's what gives us our built-in support. It creates the CS project files and the solution files. Those are important for the IntelliSense to work. Editing Unity extensions. Code completion, right, so we also need to download this one. Download. There's two NDP 46. One of them is ENU, which I believe is English US. I'm going to download both of those. I've already got them, so I'll just go into my downloads folder. And we'll run those. Agree to the terms. Successful. So we've got all that downloaded and installed. So now we'll take a look at what the next step is, and that's enabling Unity warnings. So Unity has a set of custom C# warnings called analyzers, and they'll show us some common issues with your code, so they're very useful to have. The first thing we need to do is download the analyzers from the NuGet website. So we just click on that link. Microsoft Unity analyzers. Version 1.9. There we go. Download package. Okay, so we're going to right click on that, going to go to 7-zip and extract files here. Go into Analyzers, .NET, CS, Microsoft Unity Analyzers. I'm going to copy that DLL. I'm going to put it on the desktop for now. There we are. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at our next steps. So we need to add a folder called NuGet. Let's copy that. Do not place it inside assets or packages. So if we go and take a look at our D drive, Unity projects, Hello World, we have a look at, create a new folder called NuGet, and then just copy and paste. Great. And there's another step. We need to do OmniSharp JSON.file that's got that information in it. So this should be at the root of your project folder. So let's have a look. Hello World, that's our root. I'm going to create a new text document. That's going to be called omnisharp.json. Oh, it's fun, isn't it? Include the file name extensions. Let's get rid of that .text. Make it .json. So that was view file name extensions, and just untick it now. And there you go, like magic, they're gone. Open that file up. Oh, look where we are. We're back in Visual Studio Code. Fancy that. We've got our syntax highlighting. So that's all we need to do. Save that. This is something you're going to have to do per project, so it's not going to work on every project. You're going to have to do this step multiple times, so I'm sure you'll get familiar with these things and you'll have your DLL on the desktop ready just to drag it across and drag this omnisharp.json file in as well. So we've completed everything so far on this guide. Last thing to do is do a restart. Cool, so I'm going to restart and I'll be back in a few seconds. Hello, so we've restarted the computer. You must restart your computer for the next part to work, if it works. I'm flying by my seat of the pants here. But let's see, we're back into our Hello World project. And we're going to double click on our Hello World scripts in our Asset Scripts folder. Should open in Visual Studio Code. We've got our syntax highlighting. OmniSharp is warming up. That's what's going to give us our IntelliSense and autocomplete, that kind of thing. So vector to, it's not working. Oh dear. Some projects have trouble loading show output. I need to move my face. Show output. Let's just have a little search down here. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. And there'll be a link to get it solved. Unity analyzers haven't worked as well. Here we go. The reference assemblies for .NET Framework 4.71 were not found. Download the developer packs here. So I'm hitting Control just to follow that link. 4.71. Download the developer pack. NDP 471. So let's go into our downloads folder. There it is, NDP 471. Have a read. Looks good. Agree. Install. Yes. Now there was another problem, it said, with the OmniSharp. Okay, so I've skipped a bit here. So we're looking at a problem with OmniSharp. So the correct location path for the omnisharp.json file is just NuGet, and that has to point to the directory that contains the DLL. Cool. The other thing I did was I had to reinstall the DevTools. So they were already installed on my laptop, so I uninstalled them and then reinstalled them again, which you'll probably see in the video, the reinstall. The reason I'm telling you all this is because if we go into our start method now and type V for vector, our IntelliSense is working, which if, like me, you had a stage where it's just stopped working on you, I had to find out to get it working properly again. That is a sort of major relief. So, woo! Maybe doesn't mean much to you at this point, but it will do in the future, believe me, when you realize how useful this is. So vector 2, and then we put dots, and then we see all of the things that vector 2 has in it. We don't have to remember these and how they're spelt and what they're called and all that kind of thing. Imagine just typing that in from memory. You have to memorize all this. So that's working. So in our start method, we're going to debug dot hello world. I don't know why that's gone on the second line there, but there you go. So debug.log hello world. I was getting a bit confused there. You can also use just print hello world. It's not debug print, it's debug log hello world. So let's save that. I'm going to close Visual Studio Code down for a while there. Let's call it code. I'm going to close down code for a while there. Go back to my project. It's taking a long time just to realize those changes. Okay, that's done. We can see our change there. And we're going to go into the console, clear on play, clear, it's already clear. Hit play. Nothing's going to happen, by the way. Why is nothing going to happen? If you can answer that, then you already know something. Basically, we're not using that code anymore. So we've got to add a component. We're going to add it to the main camera. Add a component. Hello world. Okay, let's try again. And there we go. In our console, our debug log at 3:30 in the afternoon, it's said hello world, which is great. Okay, let's do a Control S to save. You must exit play mode before you save. Okay, Control S to save. So we know our script's in the right place. Go to our hello world script. Again, I'm going to open Visual Studio Code for us. Got syntax highlighting. Let's just check now. Oh my gosh, it's gone, it's disappeared, we don't have it anymore. give it a few seconds. Yes, it's back. So it takes a few seconds to warm up, so don't be worried if your IntelliSense is missing it straight as when you open it. It will warm up, it will get there. Cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little for loop. So for int I equals 0, semicolon I is less than 5, semicolon I plus plus. Then curly braces, and we're going to grab that debug.log hello world, and we're going to put it here. So basically we're going to say hello world 5 times, and just so we know where we are, I'm going to do another int count, and that equals I plus 1. And then we're going to say plus count. Save. So now it should say hello world 5 times. So we'll go back into Unity, give it a few seconds. Hit play. There we go. Hello world 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly what we want. Great. So why on earth did we do that? The reason is because I want to go here and I want to put a little red dot in the column. And what should happen now is Unity will stop when it gets to this line of code and allow me to look at the count and different variables. So in order to do that, we need to set up run and debug. And we're using a Unity debugger. So I'm going to create the launch.json file. That's automatically created for me. So that's all nice and good. So then we just hit play here, start debugging. And then we hit play here. We're going to allow access. Going to hit play again here. And there we go. Debug.log hello world. What's the count? The count is 1. Just out of interest, if you go into I equals 0, count equals 0 plus 1, so count equals 1. We can continue. Boom. And now we'll see that I equals 1, so count equals 2. So we will see when we continue that now says count 2. So let's take that out, go back to Unity. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just to wrap it up, we've installed Unity, we've installed Visual Studio Code, we've got our syntax highlighting, we've got our IntelliSense working, we've got our I've forgotten what they're called. Let me just have a quick look what we've got. We've got analyzers set up to enable the Unity warnings, and we've got our debugging set up so debugging's working. So we've got our integrated development environment with Visual Studio.code. So that's it from me. Hopefully I'll see you soon in the next video. Please post any comments below if you have any questions or any suggestions on what you'd like to see in the next tutorial video. Thank you very much, and bye.